Why am I not getting phone calls? That is a very common problem that a lot of people have. I'm spending money on this internet marketing stuff. None of it works. It's all a scam. It's all a ripoff. Why am I not getting phone calls? So here's the main number one reason why a small business wouldn't get phone calls from advertising on Google. If you're doing search engine optimization, a big reason why you wouldn't be getting phone calls is because your website's not ranking for any of the keywords that you're targeting, and because of that, because you type in keywords, your website doesn't pop up. That's why you're not getting phone calls, because you need somebody to go to your website to have an opportunity to get that person to call you and email you. So let's say you're doing advertising. Like I hear from people all the time, search engine advertising doesn't work. I've spent all this money. I've tried doing it myself. I paid this other guy to do it. The main problem, the first problem to understand is that there's not enough people out there that know how to do this stuff. This industry is brand new. It hasn't been around for that long. This industry has probably been around for about 15 years, as long as I've been in business. I kind of got into this industry when it was really starting back in 2003. I mostly started as a web design company, charging $600 to build a website, which we're not able to do, nowadays because of all the do-it-yourself kits and all the easier ways that it takes to build a website. It's not as hard as it was back then. So it hasn't been around for that long, and because of that, you have a whole bunch of people that want to do it, but they don't know how to do it. The schools and the colleges, they're not teaching it properly because there's so many changes that the schools and the books, they can't keep up with it. Everything changes, everything evolves. A lot of industries have been around for centuries, but with this one only being around for 15 years, there's a real supply problem. There's a lot of demand, but there's not that much supply in terms of people out there like myself that actually know how to do it. Like some of the bigger companies that are out there, they're good at getting customers, they're good at advertising and saying, hey, we're a big company, go give us your money. There's a lot of companies that are out there that are like that. They'll get customers, but their main problem is that they have a problem with retention. They have a problem with keeping those customers because the product does not make the small business customer money. That's the main problem. Like whatever these big companies charge, either they're charging too much or their product just simply doesn't get anybody phone calls or customers. So you just don't have a lot of people that are out there that know how to do it. So that being said, if you're advertising with the search engines, that's one of the main reasons why if you pay somebody else to do it, you don't make money, it doesn't work, is just because you're working with somebody that doesn't have experience and doesn't know how to do it. And then if you're trying to do it yourself, that's obviously a problem too. For instance, I'm not a car guy. Just because I do internet marketing doesn't mean I'm a genius and I know everything. That's definitely not the case. I do not know everything. For instance, I know nothing about cars. So if my car broke down, if my brakes stopped working, it would take me a really long time, not only how to fix it, but it would take me a long time to figure out like what the problem was to begin with, in terms of like where do I even start looking. Like even if I had the equipment in the garage in order to fix the car, I still wouldn't be able to figure it out because it's just it would take too long. I would have to spend a ton of time learning how to do it. Same thing with internet marketing. It's really no different. There's a lot of different pieces and parts that make the whole thing work. So that's it'd be like me having this expectation of we just got a new house, we want to redo a floor, and I'm gonna redo the floor myself with hardwood. We're gonna have a hardwood floor, and I'm gonna do the whole thing myself, and I'm gonna do a good job, even though I've never tried doing it before. I don't know too much about it, and I'm gonna do a great job. It's it's the same type of thing. You're not gonna be that good at something when you first start doing it. So internet marketing is really no different. So why do people get no phone calls? Why do you advertise and the phone calls don't come in? The most popular theory is the website doesn't work. People go to the website and it doesn't work, so you got to change the pictures, you got to change the text and the information that's on it, you got to change the color of a button. If the contact button was green instead of red, maybe people would click on it more. That's actually a myth in terms of what the biggest problem is with you not getting phone calls. A lot of times the website really doesn't have too much to do it. Obviously, if you have a bad website, if you have a website with really bad pictures that make you look like an amateur, that's going to be a problem. If you have a really bad website that was built back in 2010, that could be a problem. If you have a modern website and people are not going to it, I would say the odds are that that's not the problem. The main problem is with the targeting. So I want to try and I want to try and be as simple here as possible, not get too technical into the jargon. So there's two main match types. There's broad match and there's exact match. Technically, there's something called phrase match, but there's not too many people that I know of that really use it. Really, it's broad match and exact match. So exact match means that on your keyword list, Google is going to advertise you, Google, Yahoo, or Bing. They're going to advertise you for the keywords that are on the list, and that's it with exact match. Broad match means that Google's going to advertise you for the keywords that are on the list, but they're also going to advertise you for keywords that they think is similar. So that's a really big difference. Now, obviously, exact match would be easier, so that way there's no problems. But when you're doing exact match, you end up paying more per click than you would with broad match. So what we do is we use broad match, but we have a big negative keyword list. You tell Google a list of keywords that you do not want to be advertised for. So for instance, if I'm working with a company that does airport transportation, they're going to want phone calls, a taxi service and shuttle service and things like that. But if they don't have a stretch limousine, then I'm going to put limo as one of the negative keywords because they don't have a stretch limo. So even though Google might think the taxi service and limousine service are similar, which they kind of are, but if the client doesn't have a stretch limousine, they do not want that. So that would be on the negative keyword list. So why do people not get phone calls? What does this whole match type thing have anything to do with it? So the big headline would be, if you're using broad match and you do not have a negative keyword list, that is why you're not getting phone calls. So what will happen is you'll have the list of keywords, and if you go in the Google's panel, you can see like the list of keywords that are on there, but then you have to kind of look underneath the hood. There's a tab on there, it's called search terms, and you look underneath the hood, and that actually reveals the list of keywords that people are searching before they click on the link and go to your website. So a lot of times you'll have the list of keywords and you'll think, okay, cool, I gotta click for taxi service, I gotta click for shuttle, airport transportation, etc. But then you look underneath the hood and you actually got phone calls of somebody looking for bus transportation, somebody's looking for a party bus, somebody's looking for a Greyhound bus, somebody's looking for they need to fix their car, so they're looking for AMCO. So you look underneath the hood, and what's happened is your website, the clicks that you've been paying for have been people that are not looking for what you're doing. Let me give you another example. So let's say you do car repair, and specifically you do transmission repair, engine repair. Those are the main things that you want to do. And so if you have auto repair, that's one of the more common mistakes that most auto repair shops will make. If you have auto repair as your keyword, it's super broad. People will type in auto repair because they need to fix the door handle on their car. They might need body work done. They might need upholstery work done in their car. It could be anything. People type in auto repair, it could be anything. It's kind of like a Pandora's box where you don't know what's going to pop out. So if you're doing transmission repair, you definitely do not want to have auto repair on the keyword list unless you have a really big negative keyword list. So if you have auto repair on there, what will happen is you'll think, okay, cool, I got all these clicks for auto repair, but then you look underneath the hood under the search terms tab, and it'll reveal people typing in different things like I need somebody to clean the inside of my car, or I need to get an oil change, or I need to get a smog check. And then this company that does transmission repair, they have on their website, we're transmission repair specialists, that's the main thing that we do. They wonder why nobody calls. they don't get phone calls because people went to their website looking for smog repair, looking for somebody to clean the inside of the car, looking for all this other stuff. That's what people are looking for. So that's one of the main reasons why. Just a test alarm there, in case you guys hear the alarm over there. So that's the reason why nobody's calling, is because they're going to the website for the wrong thing. They think that they want to get a smog check. They're going to your website and your transmission shop. So that's the reason why they don't call.